The first thing you want to look at is the mobility of the spine itself. So you'll set up in this cat-camel position as shown, and you want to see how much you can arch or extend your back, like shown here, and then how much you can round or flex your back, which is the opposite direction, like an angry cat. And what you're looking for is to see that you have a nice symmetrical curve from top to bottom. So you'll notice I have a real symmetrical curve here in flexion, not quite as good in extension. You may find that you have stuck areas or areas that stay flat and other areas that move too much. And what I want to do is get the areas that aren't moving so much moving. So here you can see that my upper back doesn't move quite as much. Here's what you might look like if you were stuck on the flexion. Notice my upper back is rounded, but my low back is staying very flat here. In this case, you'd want to work to mobilize the low back to round more. Next, we'll look at the ability of your spine to rotate. So you'll sit back on your heels and elbows against knees, and then one hand goes on the back of your head, and you want to rotate your elbow up to the ceiling as much as possible, rotating through the upper back. Sitting back on your heels anchors the low back and takes it out of the equation. So we're just trying to rotate through the upper spine or the T-spine. Here's a view of the same thing from the front, and what you want to do is look to see what angle you can get to on both sides. So you'll need to film yourself. You want to get roughly to 90 degrees. You can see I'm a few degrees short there, and you want to be symmetrical from side to side. Since you can't see what your back's doing when you're working on the cat-camel, a good way to give yourself some feedback to move the areas you need to get moving are to take a small exercise band. You could even probably use a rope. It's not there to provide you any resistance, but just something that you can feel and push against. So here I have it looped under my hands, and I'm pushing up into the band, trying to get to round my lower back more. You're basically trying to mobilize the segments right underneath the band by pushing through them. You can also use it going the opposite direction. Here I moved it to my upper back, and now instead of trying to push up into the band, I'm using it to try to pull away from to create more arching at the space where the band is. And you can place the band wherever you need it. If you're lucky enough to have a training partner, a little bit of fingertips touching the area you need to move can be really helpful, but most of us don't have that luxury to have someone there all the time. Another way to get the low back moving more if you need to round more there is this standing version. So you'll bend over, hands on your knees, and you're just moving just the low back, which is a little difficult to see here, but if you look carefully, you can see that my low back is arching and rounding back and forth. And when you try to round here, you should get a very strong and deep abdominal contraction, which will help round the low back more. And this you can throw a few reps in anywhere, anytime, pretty much.